In the past 12 months, I posted 365 videos, started my online business, and made over $120,000 from that business. I then basically dropped out of high school, built connections with some of the content creators that you probably watch, and most importantly, grew my following from 0 to almost 500,000 followers. And I'm not saying all that to brag.
Oh, hell no.
I simply want to show you what is possible. Growing my personal brand this year has given me so many opportunities that I never would have had. And in this video, I want to share with you the 4 intentional tactics I used to go from 0 to 400,000 true fans who actually mess with me. And I'm sharing these 4 strategies to show that growing an audience doesn't have to take up your entire day. And it doesn't have to be this massive stressor that you're worried about 24/7, like, what are my views right now? Because that was me a year ago. I was inconsistent. I saw social media as this game of luck. Like, I was just waiting for the algorithm to finally find my videos again and give me the views that I've always wanted. And if I realize anything, it is that viral creators that pop up every single year don't blow up by luck. These strategies that I'm about to reveal in this video are the same strategies that even social media beginners use in their videos to grow their audience past 10,000 organic fans. Like Kenny Witt, who started with literally 0 followers, but after implementing these strategies, he grew from 0 to 10,000 organic fans on Instagram. And the thing is, once you understand these tactics, growth actually comes consistently. Kenny continued to grow and actually collab with Unspeakable's team, and even got some of the biggest TikTok creators to react to his videos. And all of that happened in under 1 year. Let me give you an example of someone else who harnessed these strategies. JJ used these 4 steps to grow his e-commerce business to $13,000 a month just by creating TikTok videos. Now, one quick note, all of these people didn't use fancy editing softwares or $4,000 cameras. They simply used CapCut on their phone and recorded with their phone camera. And of course, these 4 tactics. So let's hop in. Step number 1, the art of the hook. Imagine the first 5 seconds of your video is a party invite. It is literally the cover invite to a party. If it looks boring, no one's gonna come. If it looks like it was hosted in a tiny closet, no one's gonna show up. And that's why I spend a great portion of my time scripting on the hook. The hook is your only opportunity to get someone to stop scrolling and pay attention to your video. TikTok, Reels, Shorts, every single platform is the same. You need to stop people from scrolling. And your hook is the weapon to do that. For those of you who think you understand hooks and you're ready to skip to the next part or click off this video, like, oh yeah, I just know you have to be just controversial in your videos to get people to watch them. If you're not blowing up and not getting consistently over 10,000 views per video, then you do not understand hooks to the degree that you need to. So for all of you data and statistic nerds just like me, I got something for you. So here's a video I posted that has like 5,000 views. And as you can see, in only the first 5 seconds of the video, only 35% of people are watching that. Then this video with 360,000 views still has 57% of people watching by 5 seconds, which is a 22% increase than the first one. And just that 22% increase allowed me to get 22 times as many views on the second video than the first. And the difference between the video that flopped and the video that did good is the hook, or just the first sentence of your video. So you need to be putting in a ton of effort into your hook. If not, your video is gonna flop, you're not gonna get any views, you're not gonna get any followers, and then you're not gonna make any money. Now you're probably thinking, I don't know how to write good hooks. Cool, use AI. But not in the way most people use it. I trained an AI assistant on the best performing hooks from my videos and other content creators that I look up to. I legit took hours out of my day to actually train this AI. So you can literally just type something like, give me 5 hooks for a viewer struggling to go viral on Instagram, and it will spit out 5 hooks that are actually good. As you can see right here, it's crazy how no one talks about why your content isn't blowing up. 3 months ago, I was posting daily and still only getting 100 views. Then this app, it came up with hooks that aren't body and don't sound like they're made from AI. They sound human. Now my blueprint bot is something I could personally charge hundreds of dollars for, but if you just go to the description of this video, I'll literally give you the link for free. Now I have way more detailed and advanced guides on how to come up with good hooks in my private community creator blueprint. However, just because you can write good hooks doesn't mean your videos are going to do good. Like, you're not just going to magically pop viral videos out of thin air. If that was all there was to it, don't you think that the most eloquent speakers would just be popping viral videos out of their pocket? Yes, they would, but that's just not the case. Because just as important as it is for you to write good hooks, you also have to speak and use the right energy in your hooks. See, the words, tonality, and energy you use come together to create the perfect hook. Because once you have a really good script, you can still be like, here's the 3 things that I did to get rid of my fear of spiders. That is boring and not interesting. Nobody's gonna watch that. People on the internet do not know you. You are quite literally speaking to strangers. So you need to give a good first impression for the viewer so that they actually watch the rest of it. Because social media is all about connection and relatability. But this does not mean be super loud and annoying on the internet, because that's definitely not a way to captivate good attention. And it definitely will not give you a good first impression. So let me actually show you the hook of the video that got 360,000 views.
I'm actually embarrassed to admit this, but I have no idea what my real hair looks like.
My tonality was a bit concerned to make people wonder why I was embarrassed to admit that I don't even remember what my hair actually looks like. It was almost like a FaceTime call, because revealing my emotions is very relatable and personable. That is the type of energy that you want to tap into when speaking to a camera. You do not want to sound like a robot or an AI. You want to sound like a real human. Okay, but how do you tap into this FaceTime-like type of speaking when you're making videos? And this leads me to the second step, which is very important. You must understand on a detailed level who your viewer really is. You may be thinking like, what? I'm just trying to talk to everybody who watches my videos. No, you're not. You're speaking to one ideal viewer. Because when you try to talk to everyone, you simply talk to no one. And this is the thing that 99% of content gurus don't understand. They try all these different editing and retention hacks, but none of them actually work because they don't even know who they're making videos for. And these little retention hacks don't actually have that much effect on your videos anyways. Which, don't get me wrong, editing is still important, but I'll teach you how to do that in the next step. Anyways, one of the hardest mindset switches I had to make was understanding my viewer before I even scripted out the video. I used to try to appeal to the algorithm by being boring and generic, and the result, I was forgettable and just skipped over. In the social media game of trying to increase your viewers' retention, it's not so much about making your videos logical and straightforward. It's about making your viewers feel something through the video. And I need all of you guys just like me to get that through your head. It's not about logic, it is about emotion, because we are humans. And the only way to achieve leaving an emotional impact on your viewer is to simply understand them. So don't think so much logically, think, how do I get them to relate to this video so that they can feel something from it? Now, there are so many studies on what makes a video go viral and shareable, and I'll let you guess what the answer is. Time's up. Yeah, it's when it evokes a strong emotional response. Whether it be negative, positive, sad, whatever. Now, when you hear this, you're probably like, I just need to make the viewer super mad and make them want to punch me. That's not the way to go about it. In fact, that is one of the worst things that you can actually do. This kind of over-the-top delivery makes your video seem fake to the viewer, and they're like, okay, well, this guy's clearly putting on an act for this video, so I'm gonna scroll. And the viewers will pick up on this instantly because, let's be honest, we consume a ton of social media content. We can tell when somebody's being genuine or someone's being fake. So if something feels off and they're like trying too hard, they're just gonna scroll. So if you actually want to optimize for viewer retention, you need to make your videos intriguing and actually interesting. And the hard part, which makes most people fail social media content in general, is you need to build a real and genuine connection with your audience. For example, your favorite creators who you look up to probably make you feel like you're in the room with them when they speak in their content, and like they're literally speaking to you one-on-one. That is the feeling that you're looking to invoke in your viewers when you speak in your content. Okay, I get it, but how do you actually make people feel this way? And the secret is understanding your viewer by visualizing them as a real person instead of some box that you're speaking to on camera. Who is one person who you actually know so that you can tap into this flow state kind of where words just start coming out of your mouth, pause, in the most natural sense, because you feel like you're speaking to a real person, like a friend on FaceTime. So choose that one person, and this is going to be your ideal viewer persona, or your IVP. And you need to understand this IVP down to a T, so it helps if you actually are referencing a real person that you know personally. What life problems do this person have? What do they do on a daily basis? What do they wear? What are some limiting beliefs that they have? And what kind of content do they watch already? You have to know this person inside and out so you can actually communicate to them in the most genuine, real sense while solving their problems and crushing their limiting beliefs. In fact, this is so important that I literally have a 17-minute guide on breaking down your ideal viewer persona in my program, Creator Blueprint. So for time's sake, I'm gonna walk you through my ideal viewer persona on my laptop. Let's go. So my ideal viewer persona, Jack, he wants to develop an audience but do it in a genuine, non-scammy way. And he wants to have an audience to support his financial freedom and online income. And Instagram and TikTok are the only platforms I needed this year to start a business from zero and grow up to 10, 20, 30K a month. Now, what are some objections that my ideal viewer persona would have, aka Jack? Well, don't worry, you're on the right video, because I started building my audience 2 years ago in July 2023, and only a year later did I finally have something to sell them. I am busy grinding, socializing, and self-improving. Well, don't worry, I'll help you do it with just 1 hour of deep, focused work every day using 4 tactics. I did it during high school with the business, and Derek did it while going to school for 9 hours a day. And the last objection would be I'm too lazy to edit my captions. Well, just watch part 3 of this video. Alright, so now that you have your ideal viewer persona, how do you tap into this sort of FaceTime energy that I was talking about? So I have 2 hacks for you to achieve this flow-like state. The first hack is to take a deep breath when you record, just like this, before you even hit the record button. Then I literally close my eyes and picture the person that I'm talking to, which in my case is Jack. I picture him right in front of me like I'm having a conversation with him instead of a boxy camera. So it's kind of weird, but just follow along. If you still feel stiff, then you can do this. And I know it sounds stupid, but you need to just shake out those nerves. Calm your nervous system down. Tap into this like animal-like state where you don't care what people think and words just start flowing off your tongue. Now, it might make you a bit uncomfortable, but when you actually start doing it, you're gonna realize how powerful it is and you're gonna wanna do it every time. And the second hack to tap into this raw energy is to simply hit record and do not stop. Because usually for the first like 2 minutes, I'm just stuttering. I don't really get my words out that clear and I'm not locked in when I speak. But usually after those first 2 minutes, like I said, I'm in that flow state where I'm just spitting out words. And when you get into this state, making content is gonna seem fun because it's just so natural. But like I said, for the first 2 minutes, you're gonna sound super incoherent and you're just not gonna be able to speak to the best of your ability. And that is fine. Just accept it as a necessary step in your content creation process. A 1-minute video will usually take me like 5 or 6 minutes to actually sit down and film because I mess up when I talk over and over again. It's just super bad at the start. Now you're probably thinking, oh, isn't this 5 or 6 minutes of footage actually gonna take a long time to edit? And that, my friend, is where step 3 comes into play, which is the minimal viable editing strategy. Okay, so the minimal viable editing strategy has 3 parts in play. The first part is B-roll, which is the footage that you overlay on your talking video. And the second is a specific way of creating captions for your video. And finally, the third is choosing the right music so it puts your viewers in this sort of trance-like state where they don't even realize that they're watching this video. Now, the first one, B-roll, is arguably the most important thing out of these 3 steps. You want your B-roll to change at least every single sentence of your video. Literally every new sentence that you speak needs to be a new clip. And if you're gonna make videos where you don't talk in them, you need to have a ton of B-roll and you can basically just put them together and tell a story with them. And you need to match the B-roll to the actual music in the video. And that's basically all you need to know about B-roll because it's pretty simple. And you can put like random clips of B-roll over your video, but just make sure it kind of resembles like what you're talking about. And as long as it generally relates to it, then you're fine. Think of it as like the Subway Surfer videos that are at the bottom of videos where people are talking on TikTok. Think of B-roll kind of like that because that's basically what it is. It's just a way more professional and way more clean way of doing it. All right, so the second step to the editing process is your captions in your videos. More specifically, SLC captions, which stands for short, long, and clear. And it's what me and most of the big creators in the game use to make our videos. So let me actually show you how you can use and abuse this method. All right, so first things first, you're gonna open CapCut, edit your videos, and then go to captions and auto-generate captions. If you don't have the pro feature and you don't want to spend like the $9 that it costs, then you can just type them out yourself, which might take a bit longer, but it's the same thing. Now, once you're done with that, you're gonna go and edit the captions. And by the way, this is the exact same process as if you were to do it on your phone. And you're basically just gonna cut it up so that it's 2 to 3 words. That's the optimal thing because then it's not gonna take up the whole entire screen. All right, so now that you've done that, you wanna put them in the center of your video. And then you wanna make sure they're large. And then for the clear part, you're gonna make sure you pick out a clear font, which the basic one is completely fine. And now once you picked out your font, you're gonna go to shadow and you're simply gonna add a 70% opacity and a 30% blurriness shadow to your text. All right, so the last step of the editing process is music, and you wanna do 2 things when choosing the music for your video. The first one is not necessary, but picking out a trending song because it's gonna trigger a familiarity bias, which will give you a higher chance for the viewer to stick around. And the second thing is to use the instrumental version of that song because you don't want the words of the song combating with what you're saying because the viewer won't be able to understand what you're saying as well when they have Kendrick Lamar spitting some bars underneath your voice. So use the instrumental version that you can find off of YouTube for basically any song. But to actually use it in your video, simply press share, copy link, then go to YT MP3 and paste the link in and press download. Now after it's done downloading, go to CapCut, hit audio, hit device, then select the file and insert it. And now you have your instrumental version of the song in CapCut that you can use for videos. And that is it for the 3 basic steps of editing. Now the 4th tactic to mastering social media, which is the most important, is surrounding yourself in an environment full of constant improvement. So I already gave you the hacks on what to say in your videos, how to say them by visualizing, and lastly I taught you how to edit like a pro. However, none of this matters if you're not living the lifestyle and the habits of a successful creator. So last year I actually became really good friends with one of the members in my community. His name is Derek and he desperately wanted to be a successful content creator and make money from the content that he posts. So naturally we became pretty close friends. And he was just getting started, so I helped him learn all the basics and all the fundamentals and how to edit and stuff like that. And we would talk quite a bit about content, business, and all of that kind of stuff. Now what's crazy is he actually started posting from literally 0 videos on the internet and grew from 2,000 followers when I met him all the way up to 65,000 followers now. And you've probably heard the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I know I probably sound like your parents right now, but let me ask you a homie to homie honest question right now, because you're still watching this video, which probably means we could be really good friends in real life. Do you think honestly you will be able to build a genuine big following like me or Derek? Because you now have the roadmap to getting your first viral video, and as much as I believe in you and your success, I honestly highly doubt that you will succeed. Now hear me out. I know how exciting it is to watch these videos and feel like you're being super productive because you're hearing all these success stories and you're getting these 4 viral steps to actually getting your first viral video. Like I said before, this kind of growth as a creator doesn't happen by accident. We don't just luckily blow up one day. Growing your personal brand to these crazy numbers like making 50K in a month from just posting TikTok videos, that is the type of stuff that only happens when you make content content your top priority. Like that dude JT I was talking about. He hasn't made less than $20,000 in 4 months because he really locked in with this viral content strategy that I've been talking about this whole entire video. And he really had to focus hard in our program to actually achieve these big numbers. Because surrounding yourself with creators who actually want to take it serious and improve their videos by just 1% every single day is what changed my life. And I get it, finding a community of creators who are actually dedicated to their craft and focused on improving their content is super rare these days. Like, I live in Virginia, bro. Who's creating content and running an online business in Virginia? Literally nobody. So I think back to like 13-year-old me, right? When I was a freshman in high school, I was super lost. And I was just looking for a way to honestly like escape this whole 9-to-5 rat race that every generation goes down. I think back to meeting one person who changed my perspective and like got rid of all my limiting beliefs about content creation. It was this dude named Dylan Latham, and you might know him, but I participated in his trend and he actually reached out to me and connected to me personally. But he also has like this insane following of 1.8 million followers on TikTok, which is crazy. He told me that he was making over $100,000 a month just by selling his sea salt sprays in his videos. So a few months later, I was like, yo, I need to start an online business like right now. So I was binge watching Hamza, Iman Ghazi, Luke Belmar videos on YouTube all day. And I thought watching these videos passively on YouTube was gonna actually make me money and help me succeed. So for 9 months of trying to run an online business, I was just running in circles. I tried dropshipping, quit that after like 2 months. I tried SMMA, quit that after like 2 or 3 months. But then in April of 2024, I met this one person. He's a fellow content creator and his name is Jake Sujanani. He basically allowed me to see his analytics and profit for his coaching business. And I saw he was making like $15,000 a week. I was like, what? So you are quite literally one connection away from changing the entire course of your life permanently. And that is my passion. That is what I want to share to the world. And that is why in the past 9 months, I've been building Creator Blueprint. I worked tirelessly to make it the best creator community that exists. In every single success story, JT, Derek, JJ, Kenny, all of these success stories, they were actually all members of the Primitive Creator Blueprint. And I'll let you in on a little secret. The reason that we are so effective at helping creators blow up, I'm a pretty logical guy, right? I like breaking everything down into systems. And I've broken down the entire creator journey from getting your first 1,000 views to getting your first 100K view video and then eventually your first 1,000 followers to getting your first 10,000 followers. And then either getting your first brand deal or starting selling digital products so that you can make a ton of money and run up racks in this new digital creator economy. So I've matched all of the things that you need to grow internally and externally as a creator into a freaking banger of a program. First thing that we do is meet 3 times a week on live calls, because if you're not meeting in live calls, realistically your head is not in the game of content creation. This is where every single one of our creators can unmute and get direct feedback on their videos and any questions that they have. They're gonna get constructive feedback on their videos so that they can make them better and better each time and get rid of those silly mistakes that we don't see for months and months upon end. There can be literally a simple error in your video that causes all of your videos to flop, and if you just join a community of people willing to help you, then the people with a large following can see those mistakes and help you fix it so you don't make those videos flop every single time for months on end. And of course, I'm leading these coaching calls because, just to reiterate, I gained over 450,000 followers in just 2 years of creating content. So seriously, these live calls will help you. And on top of that, if you just want to connect with a community of dedicated content creators, which I actually think is one of the more helpful things, we have a bunch of community calls every single week that you can join, just kind of chat, share ideas and stuff like that. But we actually care about fostering genuine, deep relationships with people, not just like this school strict vibe where you're locked down. And surrounding yourself with these high-level content creators will help you hit growth that you never thought was possible. Now, after hearing all these success stories in content creation and business, you feel like you're unlocking new ideas in your brain and stuff like that because you get to live through other people's success stories. So I actually want to stop you right there. If you're actually dedicated to improving your content just 1% every single day, then listen up, because I'm going to be giving you the 4 key phases to go from 0 followers and 0 views all the way up to 10,000 true fans in your first 100,000 view video. And then how you can actually monetize those views and followers and turn them into real life money. I call these 4 phases cracked phone, pebbles, diamond, and private jet. So starting off with phase 1, which is the cracked phone phase. Now the goal of phase 1 is to simply get to 1,000 consistent views per video. This is probably where you are just based on probability because you're watching this video. And this is simply where you need to keep showing up and keep posting even if you have no idea what you're actually doing. And even if you have no idea what the grand or big vision of your page is going to be. You just simply need to get proof of concept that your ideas are valid. And 1,000 views per video is a great metric to show that people are actually interested in your ideas and videos. But they just need to be optimized past that point. Now in Creator Blueprint, we have a wins channel where people post their wins every single day. And we literally have people saying, yo, I finally hit the cracked phone phase in my content creation journey. Now in order to get those consistent cracked phone videos, which is the consistent 1,000 views per video, it is all about learning the basics. So in Creator Blueprint, in the first week, I walk you step by step on how to create every single video for every single day, the editing, filming, recording, and posting process for every single day. Literally what buttons to press, how to say the words, and what words to even say in your videos for the first 7 days. And then in week 2, we help you master storytelling, scripting, scripting and your hooks. So you learn how to captivate your viewers with your writing and speaking. Then you don't just need to rely on visuals and editing to get views. Now phase 2 of 4 is the optimization phase, or Pebbles phase. Your goal here is to get your first 10,000 view video. This is where you'll start optimizing the tiniest thing in your videos, like how to cut the clips down to the millisecond and the different camera angles and shot types that you want to film. So in week 3 of Creator Blueprint, we literally walk you through how to light your videos like a pro. An hour-long masterclass on editing, whether it's CapCut on your phone or CapCut on your computer, it doesn't matter. And this is going to help take your videos from decent to great. Now phase 3 of 4 is probably what you see on social media a lot, where people are bragging about how they're seeing exponential growth and all this stuff. And this is what I call the diamond phase. Now the goal of phase 3, the diamond phase, is to get your first 100,000 view video, which will then catapult you to getting your first 10,000 true followers. Now that maybe sounds like a bit of a reach for you, but I want you to keep in mind that this only happens after you complete phase 1 and 2. So it's step by step. It's not just jumping from where you are now all the way up to phase 3, which is your first 100,000 view video. You can't just skip steps like that. I know there's probably a lot of impatience in you that wants to be like, all right, just give me the hack so I can go viral tomorrow so I can just get those views and followers. And it really just isn't that simple, especially if you're in phase 1 or 2. We literally have creators that are in phase 1 and 2 for up to like 2 months, and that's normal. It's okay. But this is where week 4 of my program Creator Blueprint comes in handy. This is where I'll help you master scripting and speaking to your ideal viewer persona like they're your actual homie, creating that immersive experience for your viewer. And lastly, in this phase, you're gonna find your unique edge that separates you from all the guru creators online and makes you the guy that made it on social media. Like I mentioned, Derek, who jumped from 2 to 65,000 followers in just 3 months. He actually sent me a message when he got into the 3rd phase, which is the diamond phase, basically thanking me for all of the help that I gave him to get to this part of his content creation journey. Now, once again, all of this sounds crazy, right? And I know you just want to skip to this phase right away. Like, okay, I get it. I'm impatient too. But grinding through phases 1 and 2 and actually putting in the hard work to get out of those phases and into phase 3 and 4, which is the real big phases, is what separates you from all the rest of the creators and what gives you those outsized dividends so you can see big, actual, long-term success as a content creator. Like one of my members, Moneywise, who is making thousands of dollars a month just by selling digital products with his personal brand by posting on Instagram and TikTok. And he's even selling more expensive products through DMs on Instagram to his own followers that he built. And that actually brings me to the next final phase. For those of you who are interested in growing your online brand and then monetizing it and making real cash, building a real income off of those followers and views, we lastly have phase 4, or I like to call it in Creator Blueprint, the private jet phase. The goal of phase 4 is to make your first $10,000 with content creation, which depending on your perspective may seem small to some of you guys, but that's how you actually catapult to those bigger numbers like 20K a month or 25K a month or even 30K a month like I'm doing. So for those of you watching who want to actually join Creator Blueprint, if you join today, you'll get access to over 14 hours of video guides, tutorials on how to script, film, edit like a pro, post your first 7 videos, and walk through storytelling, lighting, camera angles, anything you can think of as a content creator. I talk about it and I teach you how to do it. You'll get access to dozens of blueprints, dozens of script templates, and you'll get access to a weekly newsletter breaking down trends that are happening right now and how you can implement them into your own content strategy. And you'll get access to 3 weekly live calls where you can join, ask questions, and get answers to everything you have, and get your videos reviewed live on call. And this is how I've gotten views like this. Sorry to flex on you. Now, most programs that teach this kind of stuff in depth about growing your personal brand, I've seen them charge like $5,000, bro. And it's actually really funny. A lot of them don't even do this, but we have 3 weekly calls live where you can ask questions and stuff, obviously, like we've already talked about, in our Discord server. You can just unmute and genuinely vibe with people and of course get all your questions answered as well. But programs with this much support, I've seen them charge $5,000 or more. Now, this isn't just like some online course, bro. Like, I hate when people say that because I'm genuinely building a tight-knitted community. Now, once you join Creator Blueprint, you actually get access to an onboarding call where you can get all your questions answered so you feel welcome to the community and you're not like, where do I go? What do I do? How do I do this and this and this? On the onboarding call, I would go literally over everything that you need to know, and you can ask questions on there as well. And another thing that I just thought about is these other gurus that sell their program on content creation, they don't have nearly as many students winning. Like, they just don't. But I know what you're probably thinking. Yo, please don't kill my wallet, bro. I really sat here and thought, what would a young person that really wants to get started on their content creation journey so that they can get views and monetize them, what would he be able to spend? So joining Creator Blueprint for now is only $30 a month. That is literally $1 per day. And you can join by going to the first link in the description of this video. And if you're on my website, just scroll to the bottom. All right, but here's the thing. My operating cost is only going to go up. More people joining means more members, which means more expenses. So here's what I have to do. On June 1st, the prices will be raising to $49 a month. So if you're seeing seeing this after June 1st, I'm sorry, but you're too late for the $30 a month opportunity. But guess what? $49 a month is still $1.60 per day. That's barely anything, right? And the price will only get higher and higher as the months go by. So when you join, you lock in that price forever. Anyways, this is going to give you access to the 12-hour content creation bootcamp plus the 3-hour monetization bootcamp, our 3 weekly live coaching calls, all of the script templates, all of the docs, and all of the blueprints will be provided to you, and then the weekly email trend letter. And realistically, right now, today, is the best time to go all in on your personal brand. We're still very early to the creator economy's growth. Like, the number of economic opportunities is only going to go up. In the next 5 years, according to Forbes, the creator economy's valuation is going to go from 199 billion to 528 billion. So as we wrap up this video, I want to leave you with 2 options. You can wait until the perfect time to start, when it's more convenient, maybe in a year or 2 when it's slightly more convenient for you, and when social media is going to be frankly even more saturated with more creators. Or you can actually start going all in on your personal brand, building this valuable asset and then being able to monetize it. So if you want to supercharge your audience growth and just start today, get those spicy 10,000 online fans, and then start monetizing, you can just click the first link in the description of this video, join Creator Blueprint, start turning views into income, and simply start today. And I will see you very soon. Peace.